this is kind of my escape and my 1 hour of the day or so that's just for me. Because it seems like everything else is, being a mom, having kids at home, doing school, everything else I'm doing for somebody else.
Yeah.
But this is like my hour. I can come in and just do what I do. And I like CrossFit because I can come in and the coaches say, this is what you're doing. No thought involved. You just show up and you do it. And if you can't do it, they scale it so you can do it. So.
Hey everybody, welcome back to KCF Conversations. Today I'm joined by Pam. Pam, I'm going to allow you to go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself. So just tell us where you're from, what you do, a little bit of background. All
right, I am Pam Levitt, and I've been here at KCF since summer of 19. We moved over here to Paulsbo from Oak Harbor most recently. My husband's in the Navy, so we've kind of been all over. I've been CrossFitting for just over 10 years. It went over 10 years in January. And I coach gymnastics for work, mostly trampoline team down at Cascade Elite in Silverdale. But I do a little bit of everything, and I also judge.
Where did you get started in CrossFit?
In Oak Harbor.
Oh, okay.
A friend actually was doing it, and he's like, oh, you'd love it. It's like gymnastic stuff and whatever. And so I looked on the main site, and whatever the workout was that day was 50 pull-ups.
Oh, right up your alley.
I didn't know it could be scaled. I'm like thinking gymnastics, 50 strict pull-ups. I'm like, I can't do that now. And so it scared me away. And I'm like, nope. And then I honestly don't know what made me finally walk in the door, but I did, and it was awesome. And I had a great group of moms that all worked out at 9 a.m., and I loved it. So.
And was that at CrossFit Oak Harbor?
It was Mount Baker CrossFit.
Mount Baker, so with Skip Chase.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wow. Because he had two, right? He had one, didn't he have one in Oak Harbor and one in
Mount Baker?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Like he's as old school as you get when it comes to CrossFit. So, interesting guy. Okay. So your husband's in the Navy.
Yes.
He has a pretty interesting job in the Navy, right? What does he do?
He is the air boss on the Nimitz.
Okay.
Which I'm not sure exactly what that means, but basically he controls all the aircraft moving around on the flight deck, coming in and out.
Yeah. I mean, basically all flight operations, like you said, all movement of aircraft on and off, and that means like bringing them up from the hangar bay. It means launching and catching and all that kind of stuff,
all
right?
The fueling, all that kind of stuff. He's got like 600 guys in his division or whatever.
That's crazy. It's a hugely important job. I mean, like one little miscalculation could mean a crash or something like that. So it's a hugely stressful job. So he's an aviator?
Yes.
He's a pilot?
Yep.
He's
the navigator.
Navigator.
NFO.
Okay.
Backseat
Got it. And so he's on the Nimitz. They just recently did a little cruise, right? They were out on the water for a little while. How long were they gone?
340 days.
340 days.
Specific, yes.
Almost an entire year, right? So, how long was the deployment planned for?
They were supposed to leave, I don't really know. They were supposed to leave mid-June, and then originally back Thanksgiving-ish.
Wow.
But then with COVID, April 1st, they all had to get on the ship, and it just sat there in Bremerton for about 3 weeks to make sure it was COVID free, and everybody got tested and retested and all of that. And then they left for what was supposed to be their last workup, and then come home. But that just turned into they left and off they went.
Just didn't come home.
Just never came back.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't imagine trying to manage that. On a ship you have, when it's fully loaded, 5,000-6,000 people on a ship, and now and it's all contained. And you worry about a highly contagious virus, that's got to be pretty scary. And so, supposed to be a few months deployment, and now all of a sudden it's getting extended by months. And then on their way home, they got turned around, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times.
Like the Thanksgiving kind of fell by the wayside. Then it was supposed to be Christmas Eve, and then about early December they said, yeah, that's not happening, and I don't think they gave us a date, but then New Year's Eve, they said, yeah, we're coming home. And then about 2 days later, they said, never mind, we're going back. So, yeah, it was quite the roller coaster.
How long has your husband been in the Navy?
25 years.
25 years. Of that 25 years, how much sea time does he have?
Oh, gosh.
Approximately.
Probably, I'd say 10 years.
10 years. So to say that this is not uncharted territory for you as far as him being away, him being deployed, that's something you're used to, right? But is this the longest deployment he's ever been on?
By far.
By far.
Normally it's like 8 months.
Yeah, but even that's a long time. I mean, I did one deployment with 7.5 months, and it's a long time to be gone, right? For them, as hard as it is to be gone, at least especially your husband, like he's just busy, constantly working, and so that sort of keeps you occupied. But you're here, holding down the fort. You're working. You've got children, right?
2 girls.
Two girls. How old?
14, 16.
So you've got work. You've got a household. You've got 2 teenagers that you've got to cope with, and then you've got a husband who has a stressful job, who's away. So how do you manage that?
Well, it's funny because he thinks we have it harder and we think he has it harder. So, I mean, I guess that's good.
Yeah.
But honestly, we stay busy is what helps us, because if you just sit at home and mope and pine away that, oh, he's gone for so long, that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with gymnastics, that, both my kids are competing, so that keeps us busy, and just try and find things to do to not really think about it too much.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing that was very obvious to me is that you maintained your commitment to fitness, right? So when the gym was open, you've been here working out. When the gym was closed, you were on the Zoom classes. You were, I even saw there were a couple times you dressed up. You got your kids involved. How important is it to you to maintain your fitness? How important is it for you to maintain your fitness?
Oh, it's huge. And I mean, just by nature of my job, I'm lifting kids, and it's like I'm not sitting at a desk. And so being in CrossFit and doing CrossFit helps me with that. And, if I didn't come here, I think I would lose part of my ability at my job. So.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. How about for like sanity? What is fitness? And then I would say, what does CrossFit do to help you with just kind of like maintain sanity during all that craziness?
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of my escape and my 1 hour of the day or so that's just for me, because it seems like everything else is, being a mom, having kids at home, doing school, everything else I'm doing for somebody else.
Yeah.
But this is like my hour. I can come in and just do what I do. And I like CrossFit because I can come in and the coaches say, this is what you're doing. No thought involved. You just show up and you do it. And if you can't do it, they scale it so you can do it. So I really like that part of CrossFit, because before I found CrossFit, it was like I'd go to the gym on base and do like the elliptical for 30 minutes and then maybe go do some machines. Like, it wasn't awesome, but it was something. I felt like I needed to do something because I was coaching and just because I like staying fit. Yeah. But then I found CrossFit. I'm like, yes. So that's why I've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I think it's just so important because, you see this a lot when you have military families, when the military spouse goes away for a while. It's obviously a very, very challenging time, and it's easy for the spouse that stays home to kind of fall into this trap of sort of like, I don't want to say depression, maybe that's a stronger word than I mean, but you start feeling like, this sucks, you start getting down on yourself, and it's easy to start falling into bad habits. And so I think it's really, really important for people to establish good habits early and then do everything they can to maintain those habits throughout. And I just think it's been super impressive watching you just maintain not only your fitness habit, but then juggling your fitness habit with all the other things that you have going on, and not letting that ball fall. Like, I just see you consistently coming in and working out, and like I said, on Zoom and doing all that. And I just thought that was really, really impressive, and it was a story I wanted to share.
Thanks. Well, and then just for another twist with the whole COVID thing, right before we shut down, I started Cade's nutrition challenge.
Right, yes.
That was supposed to be 6 weeks, that turned into like 3 months.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was nice being at home and being that long, because it really solidified the new habits.
Yeah.
And like got the kids on board. My older daughter was tracking her food too.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's only lunchtime and I've already eaten way over my sugars. So it was just a cool family thing to kind of focus on, again, while Tom's gone, something else that we can do as a family to improve ourselves and kind of help the time go a little faster.
Yeah, so some COVID silver linings, I guess, if you can, right?
Absolutely.
You have to look for bright spots where you can find them.
For sure.
But I think that's cool, and that's a nice little testament to how when you can really commit a significant block of time to focusing on your nutrition, that it's hugely beneficial. You know, a lot of folks fall into the like, I'll do this 1 month thing and that'll be cool, but the habits aren't really cemented. And when you do it for a significant amount of time, 3 months or so, you start to cement those habits a little bit more. So that's super cool.
Yeah, that's great.
And so now that your husband's home, how is it chaos or is it?
It's interesting, and being like, because his COVID experience was totally different than ours because he pretty much missed the whole thing and all the masks and so even driving home, we were talking about going out to dinner. And he's like, how does that even work anymore? And like, I want to go to the store. What do I need to do? So just kind of educating him on how real life works now.
That's crazy.
Because he, like, on the ship, they had to wear a mask all the time unless he was in
did.
his room.
So even though they didn't have, I mean, they were isolated. They didn't have any COVID on the ship, right? But they still had to wear.
Because there's constantly new people coming in and out, and
that's true.
stuff's coming in, so you never know. But
wow.
so
Okay.
like just to come home and be able to take off his mask was like, oh, this is glorious.
Oh, that's crazy.
But yeah, it's been good. We went skiing yesterday, so we're
nice.
trying to do some good family stuff and catch up on 11 months of life.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I couldn't be more. I know when I first heard that the ship was getting turned around earlier this year, I was like, oh man, that's just. Fortunately, on our deployment, we never did get turned around. Like there were threats, and it just never happened. But I know how tough that is for military families. So I'm just happy that you guys are reunited, and really awesome to see you back in here and just continuing here. So just congratulations on everything, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So be sure to join us on future conversations. Make sure you hit like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, or if you're watching this on YouTube. Thanks.